Welcome to American Roots. Today, I am gonna harvest the celery that has just gotten out of control. I was gonna try to let it go to seed, but I think that it's kind of a waste of good garden space since it is kind of in the sun and in the shade. We're also gonna walk around the garden today and we're gonna see what needs to be harvested. So I'm hoping that you'll come along and see the progress of the garden. So I'm 5'4" and this is almost up to my cheeks. It's pretty tall. That's where I cut off the other plant before. And like I said, I'm really into the no-dig method of gardening, really taking that approach. So I just left that there to die and let the root system kind of do its thing, and it will gradually decompose and become part of the garden bed. So I'm gonna use my knife and I'm gonna cut this at the base. So that plant was a total of 3 in one. So now I think I'm gonna take this and if you don't do something with celery pretty straight away and it needed to come out, I'm probably gonna chop this up and put it into the compost. So I've got a couple crookneck squash growing on here. I'm gonna let that one stay for another day, and I'm probably gonna do another application tomorrow for white fungus. Despite my mistake of cutting off all my leaves because of the mold, and that's apparently where they get their sugars from, the fruit and cantaloupe, I think they're doing okay. I need to reapply my IMP, my organic fungal spray, and I might have some melons this year. I'm excited about that. So I'm over here by the zucchini and I'm noticing that this little guy's ready to harvest. I have 3 more on the other bushes, but we're gonna give them some more time. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and harvest that little straight 8 cucumber. All right, now here we are, the jalapeno plant, and it looks like that one's ready. This one's ready. So I'm gonna cut these before they start changing color. So it looks like both of these are ready. This one's not as big as I'd like, but that's okay. I got 3. So now I'm coming over to the strawberry bush, and I usually leave this for Joe, but there's been a lot of birds back here lately. It's 109 today, so I know that the birds are hot. Welcome back to American Roots Farm. Yesterday my camera got so hot that it overheated while I was filming our harvest. So I thought what I would do is come out this morning. It's about 5:45, and I thought since the high is going to be 113 today, I thought I would come out and get started early so that we could see exactly what the garden is doing. So yesterday when we left off and the camera overheated, we were in the middle of harvesting. So today, before we get going, we want to make sure that we clean our tools. So I'm going to use rubbing alcohol, and I'm just going to clean the blade of my knife. And you want to make sure that you always start with clean hand tools in the garden. It ensures that you won't spread any disease to any of the other plants. Now, this is my strawberry plant, one of them that I started. I was watching Roots and Refuge, and Jess had suggested starting in a kiddie pool. This was one of my first beds that I put back here, just looking for different resourceful ways to grow food in my garden. Now I'm gonna harvest this berry. Strawberries don't seem to ripen after you take them off the vine, so you always want to make sure that they're good and ripe. The problem with that is that in the event that birds see them or pests see them, that gives them an opportunity, wide door of opportunity to take advantage of your beautiful harvest. So with that being said, I'm going to leave these other ones that are still looking like they're at work. I'm just going to try to cover them with some leaves, remembering that they're there. And I see a few over there hiding. I'm going to have to get around to the back side. Strawberry leaves get so big that you really have to move them to see what's happening underneath, because those berries will hide. Let's go over there and get them. Let's see what we've got going on here. That one looks like it could use a little more time. That one does as well. I think they all look like they could use another day or two, so we're gonna leave them. Here's the celery that we cut off yesterday. It definitely needed to go. It was getting way too big. These beans need to go. Throw those out. And this is a pepper plant, and my strawberries, I need to get some dirt because this is my mother. This mother right here has given me this plant of strawberries as well as the blue bed. I have 2 giant beds of strawberries that came from that mother, and she's just thriving. I need to pot her in a different pot. She deserves a bigger home. Look at this. She just thinks the celery's gone and now she can get in there. Lola, get out of the bed. Excuse me, miss. Yes, I know. You don't want to be told. Now, the other issue is that there's birds up in the tree up here, and it's causing the dogs to freak out, and Sissy is a little short. I think she's half Dotson, and she has small legs, and so she uses it as like a way to get a little taller. So I'm going to need to do something to keep her out of this bed. Last year I put old sunflower stems that I had dried out around there, and that helped keep them out. It wasn't a long-term solution. The stems started to mold and it just wasn't good. It was much better to use like bamboo stakes. So we're gonna walk over and see if there's any tomatoes that we need to harvest. I know I need to get in here and harvest some of these green onions. And I'm constantly planting new ones. I have new shoots coming up all the time. And I like to keep them in a rotation. Here is the tomato plant that we pruned. And I only now right at the hint of turning red, you can start to harvest them and they will finish ripening in a bowl on the counter. I don't see any today. That one looks like it's almost turning red, but I'm gonna let it stay there a little bit longer. We're getting some wonderful blossoms. And I've just been coming through and pulling off the suckers if I see them. And you have to do it about every couple days. They start to creep up on you. But this plant seems to be doing so much better. I had so many issues, and I still need to come in and do a little bit more pruning because you just can't leave it to its own devices. It wants to overtake every area, and so I need to come in here. I really want to get this thing like trellis to the back. I've just been having a hard time getting it up off of the front. So I need to push it back a little bit. I've been trying just to work it a little bit at a time. So yesterday, this crookneck squash was not ready to be harvested, and today it looks like it is. So I'm gonna come in here and I am going to cut it. And she's beautiful. That will couple with yesterday's zucchini very well with dinner. Check out these mushrooms in the potato bed. So I have some potatoes growing. I don't know how they're gonna fare after researching a little more and learning that they grow weird when it gets too hot. It's just so hot. I don't think we're gonna be having another crop of potatoes, but I'm here to experiment and learn, so we're gonna let those babies go as long as there's green in the ground. But I just think it's so crazy. Check out these mushrooms. And when it gets too hot, when the sun comes up, they will be dead. So you only get to see their cute little faces first thing in the morning. So on this crookneck squash plant, there's two in the bed, and this one has been giving me off like really bumpy fruit. If you know why it's giving me bumpy fruit, could you comment in the comment section below, and maybe we can learn something. I'm really trying to figure out what's going on, but I mean, yeah, I could go look it up and do all of that, but I want to hear from you. If you happen to know what's causing it, if there's something I can amend my soil with organically, or if it's just what this does, let me know. Put your comments in the comment section. I want to hear from you. This is how we learn from each other. Two heads are better than one. That is for sure. And maybe there's something that you learned, an old trick of the trade or something. It is giving me a lot of fruit, but I also don't know if that's very normal. So maybe you could give me a little gardening insight here. The watermelons are huge. Like, just a little perspective. They're getting so nice. Oh no, look what happened. One split open. Huh. Well, I'll have to be taking that out. Such a bummer. I wonder what happened. Okay, so your zucchini, they will so creep up on you. I think we just shot a video and we were just counting, and I think we maybe had 1 or 2. There's one here, and then I came over to this plant and there's 3. 1, 2, 3. That fast, I have 5 zucchini. And this is 3 zucchini plants in a raised bed. I like planting things that are more viney in the raised beds because they have room to kind of go down and around and wherever they want. But it's crazy. This thing has already given me about maybe 10 zucchini so far this season. This is a candy cane striped pepper. So cool. So between yesterday and today, we were able to go through the garden and harvest zucchini, crookneck squash, tomatoes, jalapenos, strawberries. I do have fresh herbs like thyme and rosemary if we needed some of those. It just all depends on what you're going to use them for. So join me for my next video where I'm going to show you what to do with some of your harvest in the kitchen. Thanks for joining me. Until next time.